He just popped in. Let me take that down.
Oh my God! Look at
see
this
your face.
All right, hang on, Cory. We're gonna throw you in. I can't believe this might have actually worked out.
Hey,
look at this, Cory Marks.
Guys, I am so sorry for the inconvenience. I couldn't figure this stuff out for the life of me, and I had to use Google Chrome and downloaded all that shit, and now here I am.
That's all right.
High five to you for getting that done. Like, I just assumed that, we'll just figure it out later. We'll get you back on. And we just popped on to let everybody know that it'd be a minute. But here we are. He's got a beer. Let's do this.
Thank you for having me, even though, I guess better late than never, huh? So, Kevin, nice to see you guys, man.
Hey, nice to have you aboard, Cory. Thanks for joining us. People are loving your song. Outlaws and Outsiders is regularly played on 104.9 The X, and it's been having a great response so far. We love the country rock hybrid. It's awesome.
Oh yeah, man. Well, thank you guys so much for the support, and it's pretty amazing to have you guys playing this, and very thankful for it. So thank you.
But dude, it's a badass tune. I mean, I know a lot of people can listen to something like that and maybe just hear the country of it, but you got Mick Mars on there. You got Ivan Moody on there. And then you throw in Travis Tritt, who, as Kevin and I were just talking about before. Make no mistake about it, that dude rocks as well. It really did an awesome job of bridging that gap. Was that something you even set out to do? Were you thinking, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try to bring country and rock a little bit closer, or did it just kind of happen?
Yeah, well, I grew up, first off, of course, being from Canada, I was a huge Rush fan, right? So Dad loved Rush. He also loved bands like Deep Purple, Black Sabbath, and Ozzy, and Dio, and all those guys. But so on the other side, he was also a huge Merle Haggard fan, Waylon Jennings, and all those good old boys. So I grew up on really great music, and I'm thankful for that. And, the more I grew as an artist, that's one thing I think that country music is missing, is that rock spectrum. Country is definitely kind of in the box. It's poppy, hand clappy, and sure. I'm over it. I want to change that. I want to be the change and not part of a change. So incorporating rock and a little bit of metal even in my sound is definitely who I am. And so that's just what we want to do is kind of make, real country music come back alive, but also, throw some rock in there too. As Travis Tritt would say, put some drive in your country, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So, I'm really excited about that.
Blame It on the Double also is another song off your album that it's got that same vibe to it. It's not just you really have done a great job finding that mix of making me go like, yeah, I can hear the twang, but I can also hear the kick-ass part of this, the metal in this, and I'm in. I'm in on it. Love
it, man. Thank you. Yeah, that's definitely one of those, it's a party anthem for your Saturday night, with the boys, with the crew, and I always say if you get into a little too much trouble, you can always blame it on the double. I've done that many times. I don't suggest everyone to do it, but if you got to, hell, man, that's the whiskey's there for that.
if you accidentally order used NASCAR tires off the internet, blame it on the double, right, Lou?
Yeah.
Right, Lou?
That was my weekend last weekend, dude. I don't know what got me all hopped up and made me order tires, but I decided to, and now my garage is like a tire store. Zero to do with them, but they're there now. So, but I get it. And the next morning, my wife's like, "What did you buy?" I blame it on the double. I don't know. You went to bed and left me alone, and I was drinking.
You left your credit card on the table. I was on the internet. I'm sorry. I don't know what else to tell you.
Absolutely not my fault. So are you cool to do a song for us, or?
Hell yeah, man.
Nice. What are you gonna do?
What do you guys want to hear? Why don't we do Outlaws and Outsiders? How about that? Does that work for you guys?
It 100% works for us.
All right. Let me know. I just this is the first time I've done a live on my laptop. I usually have the camera all taped up just in case creepers out there.
The last thing they need to see is my O face. They don't need to see that.
So I'm not sure. Does this work for you guys?
That was great.
Yeah. That's good.
Works totally, dude.
All right, so here we go. Here's Outlaws and Outsiders. I want to thank you guys, the X, for supporting the track. And it's a song I wrote for all you outlaws and outsiders out there. All right, so here we go. Yeah. Got a GMC, so soul. I'm a rebel and rogue, and I'm always on the run. With the fire inside, I ain't never gonna die. I'm a locked and loaded gun. When the matches strike and the gasoline lights, it's only just begun. One thing I learned is you can watch it all burn, but the flame ain't ever done. Raise them up a little higher. Outlaws and outsiders. Let's go to know. Some call me a renegade, the enemy. Throw your hands up, you feel the same. Living life like this. Just say what you want to say and walk away. I'll stand tall and there's hell to pay. Ain't no power higher than outlaws and outsiders. Yeah. I was born in the dark with the feels hard and a taste for the other side. I was a crazy ass kid, all the shit I did, I'm amazed that I'm still alive. Yeah, they thought I'd change with a little bit of there, but you know I never will. Takes too much time to walk a straight line. I don't have time to kill. Raise your fist up higher, fighters, outlaws and outsiders. Yeah. Some call me a renegade, the enemy. Throw your hands up if you feel the same. Living life at the edge. Just say what you want to say. Walk away. I stand tall and just help me. Ain't no power higher than outlaws and outsiders. Yeah, come on, Illinois. Some call me a renegade, enemy. Throw your hands up if you feel the same. Living life at the edge. Just say what you want to say. Walk away. I stand tall and there's hell to pay. Ain't no power higher than outlaws and outsiders. Outlaws and outsiders. Hey. Outlaws and outsiders.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
dude.
Well done, man. And of course, Cory Marks performing Outlaws and Outsiders live for us on Facebook. Dude, awesome song. And good to know that you can carry that tune without all your guests in there as well.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, you know what? When Kevin and I put the album together, it was like, man, how the hell am I gonna have to get better at guitar and try to fulfill and try to fill out that song a little bit. But it's been going great. As you guys maybe already know, I've been doing my lives every Wednesday. 4 p.m. on Instagram, Hump Day, we call it. Every Wednesday live at 4 p.m. on Instagram. And then every Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern, we are live on Facebook for 5 o'clock somewhere. And that tends to get a little rowdy and crazy.
Tell us how badly do you want to get in front of thousands of people and play that song with a full band?
Oh, man. I've been dreaming about it for 4 or 5 years now. And, the song finally comes out. We have all these features, of course, Travis Tritt, Ivan Moody, and Mick Mars. And, and now just talking to those guys, texting them consider them friends now. And it's just so surreal to have these guys in my corner. And I'm just blown away that they love the song as much as I do, want to be part of it. And now all this stuff's happening. We got top 10 at US Rock Radio, and you guys have played a huge part in that. So thank you. And now I'm stuck at home. So I get to do it on webcam like this every week.
Hey, man.
You were supposed to hit the road too with the Breaking Benjamin tour. That was Breaking Ben Bush. It was 3 Days Grace on that as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Saint DeSonia was the other.
Yeah, that is a hell of a rock tour. It was going to come through Tinley Park here in Illinois, but obviously now not. Hopefully that kind of stuff gets rescheduled. We got this, so. But getting out there in front of the crowd, like Kev said, that's just got to be chomping at you. How did you come together with Mick Mars and Ivan Moody and Travis? How did this whole thing get worked out?
So I wrote the song started writing the song back in 2015. I was on a tour with a good friend of mine, Aaron Pritchett. He's a Canadian country artist here. and the tour was called Outlaws and Outsiders. And I thought, man, that'd be a hell of a hook, you know. So I started writing it, got some ideas, and once I signed with Kevin, we started working on him, Kevin Churko and his son Kane Churko. We wrote the song Outlaws and Outsiders, and you know, we put basically we did 5 tracks. Blame It on the Double was another one that was on there, and we just couldn't, you know, it was like we couldn't get anybody to buy into it, like Nashville, especially trying to be a country artist and all, and you know, we got this label 11-7. Now Better Noise. Mm-hmm. We said, man, I think they're going to love this project. And of course, he took it to them, and guys like Alan Kovac absolutely loved it. So we were kind of like, you know, the hell with Nashville. Why don't we do country music right out of Las Vegas? It's kind of like Merle Haggard and Buck Owens from the Bakersfield Sound just, you know, veered off and did their own thing. And so then, you know, I signed with Better Noise in 2018, and Kevin and I finished the record. Then that process comes in where it's like, all right, what's going to be the first single? And, you know, there's so many songs in there that I'm so proud of and excited for the world to hear. But
it's got to be tough to choose.
It is, yeah. You know, just that record alone, I'd probably written at the time like 30, 40 songs, and there's 13 on it. I think there's 2 that are bonus tracks, so really we only picked about 11 or 12. And we got 50 more in the bag too, or more. But so we got this album together, and then so once we decided Outlaws and Outsiders was going to be the single. The first single, we decided we want to have features on it. And for me, I didn't want to just have anybody. I wanted to have people who can obviously relate to the song, artists who can relate to the song. And of course, we got guys like Motley Crue, so Mick Mars representing them. And we all know their story. You guys probably watched the video, the movie.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they were definitely outsiders in their own right in their time and doing something different and doing, you know, they were outside the box. Of course, we got guys like Travis Tritt, you know, who are outlaws. He was an outlaw himself. He was, you know, best friends with arguably the biggest country outlaw, Waylon Jennings. And, you know, he did that too back in his day where it was all fiddle and steel. He had that, but he wanted to, you know, put some drive in his country as well. And then you got Five Finger Death Punch, Ivan Moody, you know, who, you know, they're kind of their own thing too, right? And develop their own sound and their own unique branding. So they were outside. They're all outsiders compared to everyone else in their realm. And for me, it was always such a challenge to get on Canadian country radio, especially starting out, because I do have that rock edge. So it wasn't poppy enough for country, if that makes any sense. But you know, so we just did our thing, and so my manager knows Cheese, who is Travis Tritt's manager, and we sent it to him. Then I found out Travis Tritt's going to feature in the song, loves the song, loves what it's about. So I'm like, holy shit, this is awesome. And then one day, you know, I'm in bed and my phone rings and it's this FaceTime from Kevin Churko. I'm like, man, you never FaceTimes me. Something must be going on. So of course I jump out of bed and I answer, but it was Ivan Moody. And he's like, what's up, Cory? You know, I'm like, Ivan Moody? And he's like, yeah, man, just thanks for, you know, let me be part of this song. And I'm like, thank you, you know. And he's like, love the song. Kevin shows me some other stuff on the record, dude. It's going to be awesome. You're going to be big. And, man, we're going to keep in touch and love it. So
now, is that the first time you were in contact with Ivan Moody? Did you know him before?
First time, yeah. First time. I never talked to him. I knew of him, obviously, because Kevin does the Five Finger record. So I heard a lot about him. You know, Jason Hook, you know, like a lot of his guitars are at the studio, too. And actually, since then, Jason and I talk pretty often as well. You know, a few times a month we'll FaceTime or whatever, keep in touch. So that's been really cool. I know he wants to be on the second record. We're going to do some writing together with him and Kevin and I for the second record. So that's really cool. And then Alan Kovac called me and said, we're going to add one more feature. I'm like, shit, man, how many more features? And he's like, well, one more. It's, you know, and then he put the bug in my ear. And then Kevin called me and said that the tracks in, Mick Mars's hands, he's going to do the solo and some guitar parts for it, and they all love the song. So I'm just, you know, beyond me, I'm just thankful that they loved the song and believed in the song as much as I did and we did, and they wanted to be part of it. So just shout out to them, man. Thank you, Mick, Travis, and Ivan.
Wow, crazy. I mean, dude, look at you. That's just so damn awesome that it all kind of gelled together like that. And I love what you said about going country out of Vegas. There's so many artists like, you know, your Black Keys, you get your Jack White that take it into Nashville and everyone's like, "Oh, look at the rock that's coming out of Nashville." Yeah. But you flanked them and took the country into like more of the rock territory. I just thought that it's a great juxtaposition.
Thank you. Yeah, well, I also wanted to make music that, I'm going to love playing 20 years from now. And hopefully I could still belt it out 20 years from now. But, so I wanted to be something different, something new. And I knew working with Kevin, just such a great producer. And, we were just jiving so well on what we wanted. He's a huge country fan too. I mean, he loves Waylon stuff too. And of course, I always could never think of his name. I saw him live until Copperhead Road.
Steve Earle.
Steve Earle, he's a huge.
Oh my God, Steve Earle is on. Anybody who thinks country doesn't have rock in it, go listen to some Steve Earle, and it will change your life.
He's this great songwriter, great feel, melodies, all that. Just real music. So for me, my hero is Merle Haggard, and Kevin's is Steve Earle.
Sure.
Kind of that cool. They're both outlaws and have some crazy shit, crazy lives, and great music, nonetheless. But we're also huge rock fans. I mean, Kevin working with Ozzy and Five Finger Death Punch and Disturbed, and Kevin actually produced one of my favorite, probably my favorite Ozzy record, and that was Black Rain. That was like my high school kind of
man
music.
Even behind the scenes, like front facing, we're seeing Mick Mars and Ivan Moody and Travis Tritt. But you're working with someone who's worked on iconic albums as well.
Yeah, man. Him and I obviously both Canadian and also both drummers. So we, it's funny because he saw this video of me on YouTube, and I used to do these crazy drum solos and everything, and so I do this one-handed roll that I learned from watching Mike Mangini. He plays for Dream Theater now, and which I'm a huge fan of, but. He does this one-handed roll and just sounds and looks crazy. And then Kevin was like, "No, I didn't really sign you for your singing or anything. It was that one drum solo I saw." It's like, what are the odds of that? It's not even about the music. He just saw me do a drum solo, and he jokes about that. That's the only reason why he signed me.
Do you play the drums on your album?
I do, yeah. The drums are between Kevin and I. We split parts and songs and. So that was also a very neat experience to be able to actually I think it's Blame It on the Double, maybe. Yeah, I think it's Blame It on the Double. I'm actually using Vinnie Paul's D drum snare. That's not a replica. It's Vinnie's snare. And of course Hell Yeah records there too. And I was a huge Pantera fan growing up. Like that was like skip class and
wow.
All that stuff.
Sure.
And so to be able to play. I mean, I remember Kevin being like, "Yeah, this is Vinny's drum." I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's his D drum." He goes, "No, this is his actual drum. Like this is Vinny's. There's nobody that played it beside Vinnie Paul and Kevin Churchill. I got to play on it, so I'm pretty
Dude,
honored.
That is totally out of the movie Rockstar when Mark Wahlberg first visits the guitar player's house. And they're walking through and they're like, "Oh, wow, they played that guitar on this tour. It looks just like it." And his girlfriend's like, "No, I think that's the guitar. That's actually the one on that tour."
I got to watch that movie again, man. It's been too long.
Oh, dude, that's such a cool story. I mean, just to be around someone with that kind of experience, you hear it come through. To have someone like that in your corner, you absolutely hear it come through in the music.
Well, man, and another cool thing too is, I mean, I was a huge fan of this guy, and even before I started singing, really, Zakk Wylde, obviously playing lead for Ozzy, and
sure
stories between from Kevin of his experience working, because obviously I was like a kid in the candy shop. I'm like, so what was it like working with Zakk Wylde, and so I hope that one day I get the opportunity to work with. I just think he's such a talented guy, besides his cool badass persona, and obviously an absolute shredder on guitar.
Yeah.
He's a great songwriter and musician, man. Like I watched him do "Candle in the Wind," a cover of Elton John on piano. It's just like talented dude.
Yeah, you don't think that's going to come out of Zakk Wylde, which is, what?
Yeah,
it's very surprising. Yeah.
Actually, one of the first songs I ever learned was one was "In This River," obviously for Dimebag, and I was a huge Pantera fan, and it was pretty straightforward, the chords, and the other one is I forget the other one, but my first songs were pretty much Zakk Wylde songs, right? I had buddies that were huge metalheads, and I knew I couldn't shred guitar, but then when I heard his more like hangover music, I thought, well, I could strum a little bit and sing. So that's kind of how I started, was thanks to Zakk.
You actually did a song with Hailstorm on your album.
Yeah, that's coming out. That's going to be the focus track on the record coming out August 7th, and man, she's just such a badass, and she sounds so great. You know what? I was kind of interested to see what we would sound like together, and I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I did shed some tears the first time I heard that song. It's a very powerful song, and you know, it's one of those kind of, you know, rock ballads, if you will, and obviously her voice is just on the track is just amazing, and we sound great together. So I'm really thankful for that too. Lizzie Hale's awesome.
Yeah, she really is incredible. And you were talking about, you know, just breaking down and doing piano tunes. When she came to Rockford, she broke down and did Cheap Trick, who is from Rockford. She did I Want You to Want Me. Solo piano. It was super cool to see her do that for Rockford. And so that made me think of that you did a song with her. What is the song called?
It's called Out in the Rain. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's, you know, it's, I know we've all been through, you know, shitty relationships one way or another. It could be, you know, whether it was a, you know, romantic relationship or just one of your best friends. And, you know, Kane Sherko originally wrote the song, and I know Kevin, you know, they showed it to me, and I thought, I don't know, like, it's pretty ballady, you know, and I love ballads, but I just wasn't sure. And I knew it'd be a hard song to sing. So at the end of the day, I remember Kevin just being like, I'll tell you what, I will get you the masters over in a week if you do one thing for me. And I said, you want me to sing Out in the Rain? So I said, okay, because he says, you know, you basically had Kane and I in tears when you were doing it on acoustic. So I said, okay, well, let me change the lyrics up a little bit, try to make it more my story of something I was going through at the time. And it's kind of like, I see it as in, like, you know, it's a love story too, but I see it as in, like, you know, being out in the rain. It's kind of like being there for someone, but not, you know, you got to take a step back. You got to stay away from, let them figure their shit out. You love them, but you got to, like, distance yourself. It's just too much. And I kind of reference that to, like, addiction and, you know, certain situations that you can face in a relationship. So it's a very powerful song that I think a lot of people can relate to one way or another, whether that's love or something crazy that's happened in their life, or, you know, just people change, right? So it's just kind of going your separate ways, I guess, and reminiscing on what was. So it's a great song, and Lizzie sounds awesome.
Well, we can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, for sure. And the thought you like put in your songs, it just sounds, the way you speak about it, it comes across just how deep the whole your involvement with it is. You're not just going in there strumming a few chords and singing a few bars. You're actually, I mean, this is like you. It's just it's a great vibe coming from it.
It's who I am, the name of the record, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, right there, exactly.
I always tell my friends, man, I went through hell, but shit, made a really damn good record. So I'm thankful for that.
You think? I think we can get one more song. You got anything you want to play?
Hell yeah, man! I could play.
Completely up to you. You surprise us, whatever you want.
Well, let's see what I can do. You guys want it a little more rocky, considering, you know, they're rocking over there?
Yeah, sure. Your call.
Because there is a very country song on the record that I wrote. It's not, you know, not like this stuff you hear now, not the poppy country. It's a very, like, Merle Haggard, Vince Gill type.
Let's go down that road.
You want to go down that road?
Yeah, what's it called?
So this song is it's based on you know, a past few years ago. I was kind of going through hell, and I love my whiskey, she loved her wine. And one morning I just had this idea run through my head, and I wrote the song in about 20 minutes, put it on my iPhone, and I sent it to Kevin, not knowing. I was like, Evan, what do you think of this? He goes, dude, we're cutting that later today. Get your ass out of the studio. So it's a song I wrote called My Whiskey, Your Wine. Here we go.
Let's do it.
I feel lonely. I got you on my mind. here drinking this time. But it's getting harder letting your memory go. Your warm, sweet touch with a heart so cold. Tell me you love me. Where are you now? I want to believe somehow. Wherever you are, I hope that you'll find I'll be here drinking my whiskey and your wine. I see you around from time to time, thinking about those moments where I was yours and you were mine. My friends say to let go. They don't understand. You're more than a memory, with my heart in your hands. Tell me you love me. Where are you now? I want to believe somehow. Wherever you are, I hope that you'll find I'll be here drinking my whiskey and your wine. I'll be here drinking my whiskey and your wine. My whiskey and your wine.
Yeah,
There you have it.
that's what I'm talking about.
There's a little
Nice.
control
Dude.
for
Definitely the wailing, the trit. Like you went down that, like a perfect example of what you're doing. You didn't decide to have BB Rexa on your song. You decided to have Lizzie Hale on your song. So I think that puts you in the explains the vein that you're in. You know what I mean? You didn't go forward and George Floyd on people.
Yeah.
You mentioned Vince Gill as you were leading into that song, and seriously, dude, if I were Vince Gill, I would seriously consider buying the rights to that song and recording it myself, because that has him written all over it. Had a very if you ever have forever in mind, that kind of vibe to it. Just that soulful country. Love it, dude.
Vince is a monster. He's a great guitar player and singer-songwriter too. And that's basically you saying you probably sing it a lot better than me, right? So I should probably get on that.
That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying if I were him, I would recognize a great song for me if I heard it.
Thank you, man. No, that's you know what? That's the first time I've heard that. So thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that. That's very cool.
So Cory, you're up in Canada, right?
Yeah.
What part?
Northern Ontario. So I'm 3 hours north of Toronto.
Okay.
So, just outside of North Bay, Ontario, where I grew up.
Okay, cool. So are you Leafs or are you Canadians?
Leafs, baby.
All right, there you go.
Yeah.
You guys didn't make the cut though, did you, for this playoff system they put together?
Yeah, we're actually we're doing the first round. I believe we're playing Columbus. The Columbus.
Oh, all right, cool. Yeah, the Blackhawks are in the first round as well. I mean,
I don't know how.
I don't know
how, but they are.
Yeah, they kind of they're going through a bit of a rough patch, huh?
Yeah. Some you're right. Rough patch is a good way to put it after all those cups. But yeah, I think you were up there. I knew you had to be on one side or the other right there. So I figured I'd check in. I didn't realize the Leafs got in as well. But yeah, let's see what happens, right?
Yeah, you know what? I think it's definitely going to be different. I mean, watching typically we're watching the finals right now. So
yeah,
I don't know how I feel about it, but I mean, it is what it is. So it looks like we're going to have hockey in August. So that'll change things up a little bit. Although the thing is once the days get shorter, come October and stuff, then you have the time change. Man, I think they're not planning on the season start until December or January, and
yeah.
So it's like, what the hell are we going to do there for those 2 sad months of October, November, but no hockey, man? What the hell are we going to do?
I'm with you, man. It's going to be weird, but I guess we got to get through it and then come out clean on the other side. We'll find out, but.
Yeah, well, we come from a huge hockey family. So I was on, I've been on skates since I was 3 years old, and played all the way up to. I actually had an offer, full ride at the Ohio State University, but I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go back to school at 18 when I was just. So I actually had one question. It's like, that's cool, and I didn't really look into it. I would never looked at that stuff in high school and thought I was, I wanted to be the next Tommy Lee was my goal in high school, and so when I got that, I could take a tour of Ohio State and whatnot, and I said I have one question. Do I have to write the SATs? Like, even if I get a full ride, you got to write the SATs. I'm good. So, here I am.
Well, not a bad path chosen for you, Cory Marks. Look, dude, I'm so happy that everything connected and we got you on. And this will stay up on the Facebook page. So if anybody missed it, they will be able to catch up and see what ended up going down. Thank you so much for taking some time, hanging out with us, and look forward to talking to you again, man. Look forward to seeing you out on the road when things get cleared up, because, man, this is some badassery that needs to be out in front of people.
Hey, man, I appreciate it, Lou, Kevin. Thank you so much. Nice to meet you guys and see you guys. We'll do it again. Thank you to the X for playing Outlaws and Outsiders. You guys rock. Let's do this again soon. I hope to be in Illinois and, blow the roof off some places and have some fun.
Yeah, welcome you here.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thanks.
See you later, brother.
Take care.